Jayo Radha Madhava. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jayo. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jayo. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Shri Radha Madhava ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam Grantha Raja ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Thank you. Eager to serve. This is a good quality, to be eager to serve. So we are continue reading from 5th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, 23rd chapter, entitled the Shishubara Planetary Systems. Text number 3.
Sounds complicated.
Yes, it's a very long verse, so the Sanskrit can not fit in 3 of these parts. I will just go through the Sanskrit and then long purport, very long purport. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yata medistamba akramana pashavam sanyojitas tibis tribir savanai yatastanam mandalani charantivam Bhaganagradaya etasmin antarbahir yogena kalachakra yojita dhruvam evavalambya vayanundiryamana akalpatam parichan kramati nabasi mega shandayo vayu vasha karma sharataya parivartante vam Jyotirgana prakriti purusha samyaganu grita karma nirmita gatayo bhuvina putante. Very long.
Which verse is it?
This is number 3.
20.
23. 5:23, 3, yes. So I escape word by word because so long. Okay. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When bulls are yoked together and tied to a central post to thresh rice, they trade around that pivot without deviating from their proper positions. One bull being closest to the post, another in the middle, and a third on the outside. Similarly, all the planets and all the hundreds and thousands of stars revolve around the pole star, the planet of Maharaj Dhruva, in their respective orbits, some higher and some lower. Fastened by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to the machine of material nature, according to the results of their fruitive acts, they are driven around the pole star by the wind and will continue to be so until the end of creation. These planets float in the air within the vast sky, just as clouds with hundreds of tons of water float in the air, or as the great Siena eagles, due to results of past activities, fly high in the sky and have no chance to falling to the ground. Purport.
Siena eagles are those who eat elephants.
Yes, we will go through the purport of Srila Prabhupada. Will explain everything, but thank you to anticipate the thoughts that come to the mind. Eagles that fly in the. Purport. According to the description of the verse, the hundreds and thousands of stars and the great planets such as the Sun, the Moon, Venus, Mercury, Mars and Jupiter are not clustered together because of the law of gravity or any similar idea of the modern scientists. These planets and stars are all servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda or Krishna, and according to his order, they sit in their chariots and travel in their respective orbits. The orbits in which they move are compared to machines given by material nature to the operating deities of the stars and planets, who carry out the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by revolving around Dhruvaloka, which is occupied by the great devotee Maharaj Dhruva. This is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita 5:52 as follows: Yachakshuresha savita shakalagrahanam raja samasta suramurti rashesha teja Yashagyaya brahmati sambrita kala chakro govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, under whose control even the sun, which is considered to be the eye of the Lord, rotates within the fixed orbit of eternal time. The sun is the king of all planetary systems and thus unlimited potency in heat and light. This verse from Brahma Samhita confirms that even the largest and most powerful planet, the sun, rotates within a fixed orbit or Kala Chakra in obedience to the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This has nothing to do with gravity or any other imaginary laws created by the material scientist. So since the purport is very long, I'm going piece by piece, otherwise not easy to remember all the points. Om Jnanatimandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yeda Bhutale Svayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Sva Padantikam Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatam Mam Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here we can see that Vedic culture and modern scientists, they don't really match together. Why? Because Vedic culture is based on knowledge that come from higher authority, come from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and is representative. Like here, Brahma is a higher authority in our system, and in Brahma Samhita is explaining this principle of the planets. So according to this verse, hundreds and thousands of stars and planets, and Prabhupada mentioned, like huge planets like the Sun, the Moon, Venus, Mercury, etc. They are not staying their places according to the law of gravity. This is what scientists explain. But they stay there because the Supreme Personality of Godhead take care of them. Even we know that there are unlimited universes, and all these universes, they are floating. So how these huge universes, they can float? So Sheshanaga is doing this. Is an expansion of the Lord Balaram, actually. Lord Balaram is expanding in the first Chaturvyuha, and one of these member of the Chaturvyuha is Shankarshan. And Shankarshan, as a Shesha, is supporting all these unlimited universes. And the principle that is explained in this verse is that the material nature is arranged in the way that facilitate the planet to stay in their places and to go around according to their orbits. We will see later on, because it's very interesting, the explanation that Srila Prabhupada is giving. I go on by reading. Material scientists want to avoid the ruling government of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore they imagine different conditions under which they suppose the planets move. This is the point, no? Material scientists, they don't accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in order, to show that they can support their theory that God don't exist, they are trying to build up some, Prabhupada calls speculations, about how is functioning this material world. Actually, they have no idea. They have no idea. They simply speculate. And this speculation, they are just coming up to feel, I come up with a great idea, a nice explanation. This proves that God doesn't exist. And God say, okay, it's okay. Think like this if you want, Krishna is not forcing on anyone. If someone don't want to believe in him, Krishna put him under illusion of Maya. And when you are under the illusion of Maya, then you are convinced that you are the doer, that you are very intelligent, that you know everything, that you can build up any theory, and be convinced. We can see so many in this situation, how is going on nowadays, this world, they are very convinced. When you hear politicians to speak, they are very convinced in what they are saying. But we know the real knowledge, and we know, they are saying nothing. And many times, they are just speaking and making big words, big story. And then you ask someone, how is he speaking? Yeah, very good, he speaks very good. So what he say? Well, I don't know really. They don't know. So same is these scientists, they are building big theory, but they are so complicated that no one understands. But because they don't want to show that they don't understand, they say, oh, great people. And theory, they are always changing. Let's say, for example, this is a big topic, but I don't want to go in. But, before Colombo, in the school, they were studying that the heart was flat. And then Colombo proved that the heart is going around, because he was thinking to go to India by the sea, and then he ended there in America, in the States, South America, and for this they were calling Indians, the people that they find there. They were thinking they were the Indians from India, but actually they were the Indians from America. So then in the school they start to teach that the heart is around. So there are so many theories that had come up during the history, that before were teaching in one way, now they are teaching in another way. Don't want to go in too much in this. But this is the point that Prabhupada do, These material scientists want to avoid the ruling government of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore they imagine different conditions under which they suppose the planets move. The only condition, however, is the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All the various predominating deities of the planets are persons, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is also a person. The Supreme Personality orders the subordinated persons, the demigods of various names, to carry out his supreme will. This fact is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9.10, wherein Krishna says, Mayadhyakshina prakriti suyate sacharacharam itunanena kaunteya jagad viparivartate. This material nature is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, and it is producing all moving and unmoving beings. By its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. So Krishna says very clearly in Bhagavad Gita, this material nature is working under my direction. Maya Dyakshina Prakriti. Suyate Sacharacharam. Krishna is ruling everything. And an interesting thing he's saying is by its rules, no? By the rules set up by the material nature. Material nature is an energy of Krishna that we will see later on. It's manifesting as Durga. And Durga set up some rules. And in these rules is how the planets and stars, they stay at their position in the sky and they are going in their orbits according to these rules that they have been set up. And all planets, they have a personality that rule these planets. It's called deity. Every planet has a deity. And like we know, Chandra is ruling the moon, for example. And Surya is ruling the sun. But all planets, they have a deity representative. And this means that they are bodies. Every planet is a body, like we have a body, but inside there is the soul, the jiva, that move the body. Without the presence of the jiva, this body cannot move. So the difference between one living body and a dead body is the presence or the absence of the jiva, of the soul. This is the principle. So one planet can move on its orbit, can live, because one planet is live. We are saying that this is Bhumi, for example, is taking care of her planet. It's the deity. And it's moving, this planet. So many things grow from the earth, and the water come out and floating down, and so many things are moving. How is moving? Because Bhumi is present. A jiva is in every planet, and they are ruling these planets. So this is the point that is done here. Very important to understand. The orbits of the planets resemble the bodies of which all living entities are seated, because they are both machines controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 1861, Ishvara sarva bhutanam hrideshe junati shtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudrani mayaya. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wandering of all living entities who are seated on a machine made of the material energy. The machine given by material nature, whether the machine of the body or the machine of the orbit or Kala Chakra, works according to the order given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead and material nature work together to maintain this great universe. And not only this universe, but also the millions of other universes beyond this one. So this verse of Bhagavad Gita explained that this body is like a machine. And this machine is moving under the control of the Lord. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hrideshe judatishtati. Is seated in the heart. Paramatma is seated also in our heart. In our heart there is the jiva, we, but there is also the soul and the super soul, the Paramatma. And is ruling. According to our guna and karma, according to what we did in previous lives, and according to the influence of material nature that we are attracting due to our past karma. So this is the way how it works. And this can be a simple body of an ant. It can be a huge body as the moon. They are all different bodies. And not only the planets, as is say here, Krishna is ruling millions of universes beyond this one. And is doing through the material nature. Is his energy. And is acting to rule everything. The question of how the planets and stars are floating is also answered in this verse. It is not because of the law of gravity. Rather, the planets and stars are unable to float by manipulation of the air. It is due to such manipulations that big, heavy clouds float and big eagles fly in the sky. Modern airplanes, like the 747 jet aircraft, work in a similar way. By controlling the air, they float high in the sky, resisting the tendency to fall too hard to the earth. Such adjustments of the air are all made possible by the cooperation of the principles of Purusha, male, and Prakriti, female. By the cooperation of material nature, which is considered to be Prakriti, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is considered the Purusha, all the affairs of the universe are going on nicely in their proper order. So Prabhupada say here, this verse also answer to the question how the planets, they're floating in the sky. And he said clearly, this is not because of the law of gravity. But the planets and the star, they are floating by the manipulations, he say, of the air. And he's giving this example of the airplanes. Sometimes I'm wondering, you are in an airplane, you see this huge and heavy, with, 300, 500 people on. It's such a weight. It's incredible. No? And especially when it's going up, You say, how can work this, How it can work. And this is due because it is arranged in the way that they can, how you say, sfruttare?
Exploit.
Exploit or use the air. There is a science behind, airplanes. And from where they get this is interesting, from where they get this science to fly. Do you know? The inventors, how they get this understanding that we can try to build some machine that can fly. They got from the... From
the Vedas?
Yes, from the Vedas. There is a portion of the Veda that explains how Vimana...
Vimanika Shastra.
Yeah, Vimanika Shastra, they are flying. And there is a science. So it seems that the German, on the First World War, they were quite, interested to Vedic knowledge, of course. They were looking more the Danu Shastra, fighting. And then they discovered this, and they were studying, and they tried to apply. Many inventions, they come from military study. So many things that we are using, they first discover for military reasons. Because it's where this different government, they are investing more money, to be better than the others. So they're investing billions of francs or dollars or euros, to try to become more powerful than the others. So they discover the Shastra that speaks about machine that can fly in the sky. So they didn't invent nothing. It was already there, given by the Veda. They always just, pretend to be the inventors. And they show, I invented this, our country, was the first one that discovered the way how to fly and wherever, For example, now there are scientists that they're speaking in this way, that they say there is not only this universe, and there are other universes. And you can imagine it's like grapes. Grapes, they have many of these pieces. In Italian we say acini. I think you say also grapes, no? Yeah. And they say there are many grapes that, it creates so many universes, and from where they get this? This we can read even in Bhagavatam. Just explain the same things. But they declare, we discover. We are more intelligent. Why did we discover this? No. It doesn't work in this way. So it's just a manipulation of the hair. And this is provided by Prakriti, material energy. Material energy is arranged in a way that planets, stars can be there in the sky, and they have orbits. We know that planets go around, and they have certain speed, and material nature arranged that according to a certain speed, they can stay where they are. They are not only going around, but they are also circling. They are going like this and like this in the same time. There is a motion, and this creates the possibility to stay where they are, but under the control of Prakriti. It's interesting, Prabhupada explained that this is cooperation of the principle of Purusha and Prakriti, male and female. It's interesting because it's an eternal principle. There is always two parts, And these two parts, they can work together only if there is cooperation. If there is no cooperation, don't work. Even in a relation of husband and wife, if there is no cooperation, it doesn't work. Need cooperation. So very important. Prakriti, material nature, is also described in the Brahma Samhita 5.44 as follows. Shrishti sthiti pralaya sadhana shakti reka chayeva yasya bhuvanani bibharti durga ichhanurupam apiyasya cha cheshtate sa govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami. The external potency, Maya, who is of the nature of the shadow of the Chit, spiritual potency, is worshipped by all people as Durga, the creating, preserving, and destroying agency of this mundane world. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda in accordance with whose will Durga conducts herself. Material nature, the external energy of the Supreme Lord, is also known as Durga, or the female energy that protects the great fort of this universe. The word Durga also means fort. This universe is just like a great fort in which all conditioned souls are kept, and they cannot leave it unless they are liberated by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord Himself declares in Bhagavad Gita 4:9, Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tatvata tyadvadyam purnar jarmana iti mameti sorjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Thus, simply by Krishna consciousness, by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can be liberated, or in other words, one can be released from the great force of this universe and go outside it to the spiritual world. So very interesting also this, no? That this external potency of the Lord, this material energy, Prakriti, is called Maya. And Maya is represented by Durga. Durga means fort or prison. Sometimes we also call prison. But this is interesting because a fort normally is built up in order to protect those that they are living inside in the fort from those that they want to attack from outside, right? This is a fort. But the fort of material existence is made by Maya, Durga. The fort is creating this fort in order that we stay in the fort and we cannot go outside. No, we are in prison. For this material world is considered a prison, and we are prisoners. And prisoners, there is a lot of rules and regulations, and if you don't follow, you become punished in jail, heavy punishment, and then you have to stay so many years according to your misdeed, what you did wrong. No? Then you stay in the prison because the judge decides. No? Yamaraj decide to go there and stay there so much. But there is a possibility to go out if, for example, the king or a governor come to visit the jail, is not under the rules of the jail, of the fort. No, he can come in and go out as he likes. And one is in, and he maybe likes some prisoner. And he say, Yashoda, now you are free. You can go out. No jail keeper can stop the decision of the king. They have rules how you can go out from the jail. But if the king say, no, this one now can go, or the governor decide to do, then jail keepers, they can do nothing. So the same here is, Prabhupada say, and they cannot leave it unless they are liberated by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we need to receive the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then we become liberated. And then we know that the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead resides in becoming engaged in the practice of devotional service. This is the only way. Then Maya, Durga, will release her influences under us. Shishi Goranitai ki jai, Lord Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki jai. You can see the Lord is so merciful, that He decided to come, and take place in the form of a deity, and we are here, and just by watching Him, contemplating His form, and whatever is decorating the Lord, and appreciating this, we become purified. And Maya, she's a servant of the Lord. She's so servant that will be happy. She's happy when we try to serve the Lord, and will release the influence on us. So this is the way. And this verse of Bhagavad Gita, some they say, is one of the most important. This Jamma Karma Chame Divyam. Because it's the way how we become not only liberated, but we become able to go back home, back to Godhead. It's the way how we can attain the eternal abode of the Lord. And Krishna said to Arjuna, this is the way. Just remembering like we did yesterday, the transcendental appearance of the Lord and His activity. And if we are remembering this, we will be able to remember Krishna at the time of death. And this will allow us to go back home, back to Godhead. But yes, we have to practice. We have to practice. The other principle in spiritual life is always remember Krishna and never forget Him. So we have to develop a sadhana, style of life, that we are always in contact with Krishna. In many ways. We can be in contact with Krishna with the deities. We can be in contact with Krishna by His representative, spiritual master, the servants of the Lord like Tulasi Devi, or the devotees, prasad. We are in contact with Krishna by eating. Can you imagine? By dancing, we are in contact with the Lord. By chanting the holy name, of course, So constantly in contact with the Lord and remembering. Yesterday, Krishna Premarupa Prabhu made a very nice point. We should not become mechanical. If we become mechanical in our chanting, in our honoring prasadam, in doing the puja, whatever we do, then it's not the contact with Krishna. Then our mind thinks other things. Don't think about Krishna. So our soul has to be there, our heart has to be there. Then we can think about Krishna. So it's not finished. This is the mercy of the Pujari. It is also significant that the predominating deities of even the greatest planets have been offered their exalted pose because of the very valuable pious activity they perform in previous birth. This means, all these personality that take care of certain planets, they obtain this position because they practice pious activity in previous lives. And then they obtain this position. And they are doing a great service for the Lord. And they are doing great service for the humanity. Like the moon. Some say, moon, what is doing the moon? The sun is warming up. At least it's giving us light and warming, so nice sun. But moon, what's doing? Moon, Without the light of the moon, we could not eat. All vegetables, all plants, whatever, grow thanks to it's not only the light, the energy that the moon is giving. This is written on the Vedas. Bhagavatam explained this. So moon do such a important service to humanity, and not only this, in many other places. And then, I think we come after to Dhruvaloka, afterward. This is indicated by the word karma nirmita gataya. For example, as we have previously discussed, the moon is called Jiva. which means that he is a living entity like us, but because of his pious activities, he has been appointed to his post as the moon god. Similarly, all the demigods are living entities who have been appointed to their various posts as the masters of the moon, the earth, Venus, and so on, because of their great service and pious acts. Is confirmed. Only the predominant deity of the sun, Surya Narayana, is an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the sun is not a jiva, but is Surya Narayana. Is an expansion of the Lord, an expansion of Narayana, of Vishnu, that take care of the sun planet. For this you can see that in India, everyone who follows a spiritual path can be of this sampradaya or that sampradaya, whatever. Everyone, when the sun rises, they offer obeisance to the sun. Because it's not only the high of Krishna, it's Narayana himself. So you offer the obeisance. So important. Maharaj Dhruva, the predominating deity of Dhruvaloka, is also a living entity. Thus there are two kinds of entities: the supreme entity, the supreme personality of Godhead, and the ordinary living entity, the jiva, nityo nityanam chetanas chetananam. So, Dhruvaloka is the polar star. He is taking care of the polar star. And everything, according to Vedic culture, going around to the polar star. And the verse he was giving this example of the bulls. You know, when you want to, how they say, chase the rice, you know. Then they put 3 bulls, and they are going around this, how is it called, in the middle? Anyway, there is a point in the middle, no? A pillar normally is or wood, and the 3 bulls, they are attached and they going. Some they are going slowly, the middle is going a little bit faster, and the third one that is far has to go more faster. No? You know, in order to keep going. So all the planets, they are going around to the polar star. The polar star is this center. And is run by Dhruva Maharaj. We know all the story in the Bhagavatam of Dhruva, and how he obtained this service to run the polar star or Dhruvaloka. So, all the demigods are engaged in the service of the Lord, and only by such arrangement are the affairs of the universe going on. Regarding the great eagles, now comes the point of the eagles. Regarding the great eagles mentioned in this verse, it is understood that there are eagles so big that they can prey on big elephants. Prey don't mean praying. I don't know how you pronounce exactly. Prey?
Catch.
No.
Sorry, what's your question?
Yes, because we say also pray in praying, and this is how we pronounce pray. This is another meaning.
Same.
It's the same. Okay, same, pray. But the meaning here is that they are hunting. These eagles, they're hunting elephants. Pray, this is the meaning. There is another word in English, but just to, it don't come to me, I know in Italian. Predare. We say predare, but in English, predare. There is another word to say predare. Pray. Pray, yeah, hunting, hunting, okay.
There's the word predator.
Predator. Yes, yeah, like some, tigers, leopards, and like this, they are predators, you know. So these eagles, they are predators. They are hunting elephants. Now, we are amongst devotees. I think it's easy to accept. We don't go to say to the first one we meet in Sankirtan or in Harinam, there are huge eagles, and they fly from one planet to another and they are hunting elephants. This don't make sense for them. They have not the complete understanding, no? Prabhupada said, they start flying in one planet and land in another. And while in flight, they lay eggs that hatch into other birds while falling through God hair. I don't know if you got the understanding, no? By going from one planet to another, sometimes they release eggs. And these eggs, they fall, and another birds come out. It's even poetic, It's such a nice scene, if you imagine the scene, And it's, maybe we can think, how it's possible. We know that normally eggs, they have to remain under the cocks for so long time and warm up, and then they come out, How is possible that they release and immediately come another bird? This is other dimensions. Like it is say, for example, demigods, when they have the moment of conception, the child don't need to wait 9 months, like here in our planets, to take birth, but it takes birth immediately. So demigods, women or wives, they have not to wait 9 months. It's a different system. So same is possible for these huge eagles, they just release some eggs and then immediately some other come out. We don't believe, just because the scientists, they don't explain this. But we accept the Veda. In Sanskrit, such eagles are called Siena. Under the present circumstances, of course, we cannot see such huge birds. But at least we know of eagles that can capture monkeys and then throw them down to kill and eat them. Similarly, it is understood that there are gigantic birds that can carry off elephants, kill them and eat them. Yeah, it's not that we believe only what we see. This was the theory of San Tommaso. Tommaso, one of the apostles of Jesus. He didn't believe that Jesus came back. He was in the cross, and then they put a needle in his hands and feet, and they hang up him there. And when he came back, Tommaso was not believing that this Jesus, this one, must be someone else, And then Jesus showed the hands, and he said, touch. And then, he touched, and he realized, I said, wow. So we should not be like Tommaso, we say in Italian, that you believe only what you see. Because there are things we cannot see. Our sight is imperfect. We cannot see, Prabhupada said, we cannot see what is going on behind this wall. We don't know what's going on there now. We cannot see. And if someone tells us, there is one devotee that is doing this and that, we believe. It's not that I don't believe because I don't see. No. So this is the principle. We cannot see what's going on in other planets. Can be. Why not? And you can see then, for example, in cartoons. I was watching sometime, my child was watching cartoons, and then sometimes they create this scene that there are super powerful entity, that they are living in other planets, and they are doing things that we are not doing. So they can imagine this. You know, why not? You know? So the two examples of the eagle and the cloud are sufficient to prove that flying and floating can be made possible through adjustment of the hair. The planets, in a similar way, are floating because material nature adjustments the air according to the orders of the Supreme Lord. It could be said that these adjustments constitute the law of gravity. But in any case, one must accept that these laws are made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The so-called scientists have no control over them. The scientists can falsely, improperly declare that there is no God, but this is not a fact. Prabhupada says, this is not a fact. It's incredible. Yes, sometimes they come up with some theory, like the law of gravity is there, but who rule this law of gravity? This is the point. Who is ruling? That whatever you throw on the hair come down. Who is behind this law of gravity? We know if there is any law, someone did the law, right? There are so many laws that the state propose. So first there are someone that propose the law, then they have discussions, and then they adjust, and this, and then it be approved by this parliament, and then it does on this other parliament, and finally they come out with the law. But there is something behind the law, right? So if this they are calling laws, law of karma is the same. Must be someone that is ruling these laws. This is the point. Everything is under the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and is ruling everything through the Prakriti, to the inferior energy, material energy. This is the way how the Veda explain, Srimad Bhagavatam explain, and Srila Prabhupada here is giving us many nice arguments according to Brahma Samhita, according to Bhagavad Gita, according to our acharyas. So we believe this, and we are happy with this. So I stop here, sorry, it went a little long. I think no time for questions, right? I was hoping no questions.
We can go a little bit. I have a question. It said here that the planets are, cooperating with the Supreme Lord. So these demonic planets like Rahu, and we also have read before Saturn is a very inauspicious planet. So do we understand that they are, despite the fact that they are demons, they're cooperating with the Supreme Lord, and it says here, according to their past karmas, of have they accumulated material pious activities, and therefore they're in that position of, like high, I would say material, from high material position, to become a planet. It's not such, so, is it past karma, does it mean they have pious material activities, but they're not really devotees? How do we understand that?
Most of them, they are devotees. They are demigods. But even the demigods, they are not pure devotee. Brahma is a pure devotee. Our Brahma in our universe is a pure devotee. But many other Brahmas, they're not pure devotees. But generally, the demigods, They are called Kama Mishra Bhakta. Means their bhakti is still mixed with karma, motivations. We know from the story, different story of Indra, like this. But they are doing a service. That means Krishna is using us to render service. Even devotee, we call ourselves devotees, but we are aspiring devotees. No, we are also, our bhakti is still mixed with karma. We have motivations, and Krishna sees these motivations, but he say, okay, go on, and you will become purified by this motivation. So sometimes we have devotees that they are taking big positions in our movement, and they are not yet pure devotees, but they are doing the service for the Lord. And according to the karma that we have, then we will associate or meet with some devotees. So the influence, these planets, even the negative influence, is run by the Lord. Because if we don't liberate ourselves, this means to be constantly engaged in the practice of devotional service, then we will be under the influence of material nature. The influence of material nature then attracts some kind of influence by upper planetary systems. They are influencing us according to what we do. So Krishna explained in Bhagavad Gita that if we want to overcome the influence of material nature, we have to become engaged in the practice of devotional service constantly without deviating. This is the way. Then we transcend the influence of material nature. So then these planets, they have no influence on us. They don't have influence on devotees. Because devotees, they are running under the internal energy of the Lord, spiritual energy. He's taking care directly. If we surrender. It's okay?
Sorry, but was this the question? Because actually I understood that you wanted to know if they are cooperating with the Lord and under subordination of the Lord.
Oh, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. So this means actually that you should become his. This means that this Rao actually are under subordination of the Lord through Durga or what?
Yes, he's cooperating. He's doing his part. Definitely. We see also in the... Did you read in Srimad Bhagavatam the history of Mohini Murti? So you see, she was playing with the demigods and playing with the demons. And Rao got some nectar. No? And this is why is existing the eclipse, lunar eclipse. Rao is doing his part. This is part of the plan of the Lord. Nothing moves without the control of the Lord. Everything. Even the demons, they are under the direction of the Lord. Yeah. Then sometimes we have demons that they were great devotees and they receive some, course to come and play the demon, but in this way the Lord can play his pastime with his devotee in the form of demons. Incredible. Yeah, cooperation. They are also cooperating. Everything. Like Prabhupada saying, no, Purusha and Prakriti. So we are Prakriti. We are enjoyed by the Lord. He's the only Purusha. And everyone is under his ruling. But we have free will. We can choose to cooperate or not. So if we cooperate, we are under his direct control. If not, we are under Maya control. This is the difference. But we remain control. because we are Prakriti. It's okay? Thank you very much.
Can I add one thing? No, I wanted to say that there are scientists who are intellectually honest. For example, recently one Italian scientist, he was in charge of the CERN, which is famous institute here in Switzerland.
In Geneva, yeah.
In Geneva, yes. And he firmly believed in God. He wrote many books, to demonstrate the existence of God. It reminds me of another Italian scientist, Federico Faggin. He speaks about the soul, about reincarnation. He explained it. He invented the microchips, and he explained it in using the language of computer, something like that. How these realities, forgot the word. Anyway, it's not a reality in the full sense. That's it. Like that.
Yeah, there are a few, and for this Prabhupada inspired Bhakti Damodar Swarup Prabhu, Maharaj, to start this Bhakti Vedanta Institute. Bhakti Vedanta Institute, they're looking for scientists that they have some interest in, try to find science but with view, spiritual understanding. And there are. So they are doing a great service.
For example, Bhakti Vedanta Institute now, they are working to they are doing hermeneutical study in the way, such a way that they can understand what is the meaning of descriptions in 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. No? For example, modern scientists talks about the theory of the black holes. No? In the Puranas is explained in a way that the son of Brahma got crazy or something like that, and he was eating all the matters, and they stopped at a certain point. So they explain the things in, as you say, poetical language, metaphorical, or like that, mythological also.
Yeah. Yeah, to speak with scientists, you need to know their language. I cannot go to speak with scientists. I'm going and telling to them what I told to you today. For them, don't make sense. You need to speak in scientific language. You need to be a scientist. Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, he was a scientist. And we have also this other Maharaj, Hanuman Prakash. Hanuman Prakash, something like this. Maharaj is also a scientist.
Yeah, but the scientists, especially on the astronomical field, they have discovered many things which are confirmed actually in the Puranas.
Yeah, but you have to show them.
Yeah.
You have to show, but you have to use their language. Otherwise, it don't work like this.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe next time you can sit here and speak about more. Okay? Sorry. Thank you very much. Wish you a nice day, a nice seva. Srimad Bhagavatam Grantha Raja ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari 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 Bol.
Ja.
I see the often, she suffer often of that.
Like
Yeah.
enxaqueca.
Yes, yes, could be, she's a little allergic to the dairy products.
Okay.
Some little dairy products.
You should do the version for a vegan diet.
Yes, she follows. Nothing that happens.
Yeah.
Vegan diet.
I hope it was not too boring. No, it's good. Amazing bird quality. Very good. Really, if Cantos just to convince us that there is a Krishna living is conscious and to smash this artistic belief. That's all. Canto is called creative impetus. Just Krishna creative impetus. So the whole canto is easy. Without this, what you can ask the inventors, they just manipulate, they have nothing to create nothing. They're just using this and put together with this and this and this time. That's all about this problem. Sundar Gopal, the Holy Familia is giving class. One thing Newton, they say he invented the law of gravity. He invented. He just copied it. It's not like when he was born he went up. He also fell to the floor. He was part of it. And then he said, he saw an heck of falling down. And then it's not he who changed the law. It's not the inventor of the law. It's just copied. Then he made the point that when you have somebody writing a law and somebody's sitting behind him and he's copying the law. So this Nobel laureate, Nobel Prize, they give to the guy who's copying. And the guy who's making the law, he doesn't exist. And then another point is very important, whatever you make, you got an intuition. Intuition. Yeah. Intuition. From where it comes, intuition. From where it comes. So according to his pious activity, probably, again, at certain point of the situation. Right? But Newton, he was actually living. Yeah, he was. He did have this machine. I wanted to say this story, I forgot to say this story. Machine that the French parents had. Yeah, exactly. You know, he said, who did this? And he said, nobody. And then, who did this? He said, nobody. No, I'm joking, no, it must be, it cannot just come like this, it must be someone that created this. So, you always look around, you see all the stars and planets and all this, and you don't believe that someone created this. But you create, and you are convinced that someone created that one. And the eternal, the person that was making this start to be. It's possible. Even the way I had talked to my family members, so convinced. And I give arguments about planets and yeah, they don't understand the point that we change. Everyone can change. You need just to find them. If they are interested in something and they have no answer, and at this point you can somehow or other connect. And something happens in this study. And we have tools to do this, Pasari is very helpful. Of course, our books, like the vibration of mantras. Perfect. I was just thinking,
For you also, because you have something there, you know, you can eat there something, you know. And for them, they will take it. I think I also my son was going to the school and in Prashad. He went 2 times to this interreligious meeting together in Italy, and we were there in Prashad. We were there table, everyone doing something.
Hanuman Prasad Swami was saying they had these conferences years ago. He came to Chile a lot too. I was translating his classes. I'm not in Prague. So they're having this scientific conference. But then this devotee, she's a good cook, you know, really good cook. She's a native of so they offer. And they went, wow, so fantastic, you know, the food. And after they eat,
Yes, something happened. I never memorized his name.
Hanuman Prasad.
Hanuman Prasad.
He also, at the beginning, everybody was saying Hanuman Prasad.
Yeah.
Hanuman Prasad. But means the one who took Prasad, the gift, who what do you say, who regar in Spanish, delivered, who delivered something if the Hanuman will deliver the ring and show the seat of at least the Hanuman Krishna is the one who delivered the message, something like that. It's Bhakti Swadhyanga Maharaj gave him the name. He was actually called Hanuman. And then he took someone else Maharaj gave him the name.
Krishna Krishna